The time has come. It's time for the video. The video is the make cool stuff video. Now, I've been saying this a lot on my channel. I really want to bring a big amount of importance to the subject because that's why I did this computer science thing in the first place, to build cool stuff, because I like building things, from the ground up. I like, just planning stuff out. Okay, no, that's a lie. I don't plan stuff out really as good as I should, but I love the process of building things. So I want to make this whole video just talking about that whole thing and the importance of it. So CS, computer science, right? It's the abbreviation. I abbreviate it as well as cool stuff. That's what I like to do. That's what I think it is. And that's why I did this thing in the first place, like I just said. So the biggest issue for me is taking that first step and actually beginning to build something, because oftentimes I will get so confused by all the options that I have, the analysis paralysis video that I made, and I won't end up building anything, and I'll just study a bunch and never actually do anything, with it, with the stuff that I've learned. And I think that's a really big issue for me, and the biggest thing holding me back is taking that first step, taking that initiative, and then just actually building something, right? I'll spend hours and hours, days just studying, going over things, being like, okay, that's interesting. I like that, never actually using it. Why? Why is that? Well, because of, like I just said, I have that issue where for some reason it is the hardest fucking thing in the world to me to actually get started on something, on anything. Now, whether that's a me issue or that's an issue that everybody else faces, I'm not really sure. I don't do these videos to be like, this is your problem that you have and you will do this to fix it. Because I don't know that. I make these videos, like I've always said, I've made these videos for me. I treat it like, the camera is like a mirror talking to myself most of the time, where I'm just like, yeah, this is the thing that I'm dealing with. This is the thing that you, Henny117, need to do to fix this, because oftentimes I know the solution, and just for some reason, I'm never able actually to get there unless I sit down, have a conversation with myself, and I'm like, listen, you need to actually take initiative and do this step. You need to start building stuff. You need to stop just sitting around and studying all the stuff that you could be building and not actually build anything with it. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, yeah, this stuff is interesting to me and I love learning about it, but the important part is I got to build stuff. That's what this whole thing is about. So how am I going to begin that first step and begin building stuff? By just doing it, I think. That's it. Just doing it. Not letting my brain tell me anything that wouldn't relate to me actually building something. Just doing it. Just sitting there, figuring it out step by step like I used to in college, and doing the thing. And for some reason, for the life of me, that is the most impossible fucking thing ever for me to do. For some reason. Don't know. That just is. Right? Some things about myself just are, if that makes any sense. Some things just exist and are either hindrances to my ability or help me out, just because of the person I am and the way I am, the way I act, the way I live my life. And obviously, the good things are good, but the hindrances need to be changed so I can better live my life and do the things that I want to, such as building things. And really, the biggest thing for me is part of it is fear, irrational, I don't even know, right? My brain will tell me stuff in the moment where it's like, oh, you could be doing this instead. You could be fucking nothing-maxxing on, Instagram Reels instead of doing this. Why don't you do that? Good idea. Why don't we do fucking nothing instead of doing the things we need to do? What an excellent idea. I will now do nothing for 6 hours. There goes the day. I'm sitting there at the end of the day like, damn, I didn't do shit today. This isn't every day, obviously, but some days, all of us. I'm not even going to say that. Me. This isn't about everybody else. This is about me. I don't know the problems of everybody else. I will sit there at the end of the day sometimes and be like, what did I do today? Did I build anything? No. Did I learn anything? Maybe. Maybe I did. Maybe I sat there and, did the work like I'm supposed to be doing and actually did stuff. But sometimes I'll sit there and yeah, I didn't do anything related to building anything today. And that is bad. I need to fix that. So the thing that I have to do is just take that first step and then just start building something. And once I get started, it is infinitely easier for me to continue it because I've already gone past the hardest part for me, which is getting started and building something. So I think I am just going to have to force myself into the world that I once loved, where I'm actively every day building something and working on something, getting back into the proper workflow that I need to be in, instead of just studying like I was a student. I need to build like I was building as a student. I can't just study all day. There's no exams anymore. There's no tests. No, that's not the point. Build cool stuff is the point for me. That's the whole reason I did this thing in the first place. And for some reason, for the life of me, it is the hardest step to enact in my plan of becoming good at the CS stuff, the stuff that I like to do, and then getting a job from it. So I think just at the end of the day, sometimes I'll have people in my streams, asking advice of, what's the next step? What do I do? And I tell them the thing that's hardest for me is just build. That's the best way you can do it. I watched a video the other day. Somebody recommended to me in the comments of, it was, a similar video to mine, except this guy had a lot more, good things to say, unlike my video. I feel like he was like, you can sit there and watch the NBA all day and then you won't be good at basketball by just doing that. You have to go play basketball and then you will get good at basketball. You have to go build stuff if you want to get good at building stuff. No matter how much I sit and study all these things that I find interesting, if I'm not using them to build stuff, there is I don't know. I don't want to say there's no point in doing that, because there is a point, because, you have to do that in order to build. You have to understand how everything works. But the best way to do it is building stuff. And that's it. You just have to sit there. I'm talking to myself. You just have to sit there and be like, I'm going to build something today. I just have to do this, or, I'm just going to waste my day again by not building anything. That's it. That's really what all this is about. And I just really need to force myself to actually fucking start something and build on it and continue to build on it. And then from there, starting more things will be easier. Building more things will be easier. And, we'll get a good schedule and everything is going good, right? And I think it's because personally, I have issues committing to things because I'm so easily distracted by anything else going on. Now, I don't know if that's an ADHD thing. I don't know if I have that. I just know that it's hard for me to sit there and do something because I get so distracted by whatever distractions are in my life at the current moment. That's that. Now, if I'm not going to say, well, if I had no distractions, I would be the greatest builder of all time. I'm sure there would be something else that is stopping me. And the bottom line is I just need to sit there and start and build stuff. Now, I will say, I've been working on, a few, little things I was doing my, Pi hole / Unbound on my Raspberry Pi the other day. And that was super cool because I was actively, in the terminal doing stuff again, and it felt really good. But now I think I need to come up with another project that I can do. So I've been really thinking about going back and redoing a project that I did in my junior year, where we built a lexical analyzer and then made it into a tokenizer, I believe was the next step. And then after that, we did in Python. I don't remember if both of them were used in the same way, but it was C++ for the first two projects, and there was Python. And then from there, it was a matrices manipulation project where, if anybody's familiar, is Conway's Game of Life, basically simulating the life of cells and its neighbors. I believe it's dead cells and its neighbors. And over the next 100 or so steps, over I think a 100 by 100, 1,000 by 1,000, and 10,000 by 10,000 matrix. So, we would be waiting there, for our result for the 10,000 by 10,000 for a couple hours, maybe upwards of like 12 hours in the early stages because we hadn't figured out how to get everything good yet. And that was so fulfilling to work on every day. No matter how frustrated I got, no matter how long it took me, I was working on, 6 to 8 hours a day sometimes, like during the week. I was working on something that I could be like, dude, this is something that is like super satisfying to work on, and I love it. So the point of the whole video, I want to make this like the whole point, just make cool stuff, just build. That's the best way you're going to learn and actually make things, by making things, not studying them, hitting 117, not going over other things people have built, hitting 117, by building things, hitting 117. You need to build. That's it. Just build stuff. Just make cool stuff. That's it. That's how I want to end the video. Just make cool stuff. That's it. In other news, I will be back on Wednesday, Friday, and then I'm gonna commit to Saturday as well. I will say this week, Thursday through Sunday or Monday, I will be out of town, but I may try to still record videos while I'm out of town. I might bring my audio stuff and my laptop just so I can do that. I might interview one of my friends of mine who's going to be graduating and just getting his thoughts on, how everything is still in college and, what he's done to get ahead of people like, me, who, were too late. I don't know if people like me is the right word. Me. No people like me, myself. How he is ahead of myself and how he is doing better than me. And like showing that to people of like, wee woo. Do not be the dumbass hitting 117 that did this thing. Do this instead because this is working better. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. Streams will be every day until Thursday. Just so I can, make sure that, we're doing stuff, as much as possible. And then from there, things will just resume regularly as normal. So thank you everybody for watching. Remember, just build cool stuff. Just build cool stuff. That's it. That's all I gotta say. Thank you, and I'll see you Wednesday.